The anointed ones, welcome. When the chosen one rises, the audience doesn't always cheer. They sharpen their blades. Many think being chosen means admiration, celebration, and endless praise. That's cute. But let's talk about reality. The moment you step into your power, the same people who once applauded you start seeing you as the villain in their personal drama. Why? Because you're not just changing your life, you're exposing everything around you that is weak, fake, and broken. And nothing unsettles people more than a mirror they can't shatter. Elon Musk sees patterns, breakthroughs, and shifts that others overlook. If your photo, your presence, your very existence shocked him, it's because you represent something undeniable, something real. The world reacts strongly to those who challenge the norm, who move differently, who make the unseen visible. So don't be surprised when people act strangely. Some will admire you, some will resent you, but none will be able to ignore you. Because when the chosen one steps forward, the world has to take notice. Keep rising, keep disrupting. The game has already changed. Here's a fact. Research indicates that when groups are under stress, they often turn on one person instead of facing their true problems. And can you guess who that person is typically? Yes, the one who is unique, the one who doesn't fit in, the one who wasn't supposed to fit in. Let's face it, however, when the roles are reversed, there is more than simply drama. There is anarchy. Friends become foes. All of a sudden, people you hardly know had a lot to say about you and the neighborhood. Oh, it becomes a reality show with no prizes, just backstabbing, treachery, and a lot of phony worry. Spoiler alert, it may be you. Someone is being jumped. You'll know precisely why it's happening, what it means, and most importantly, why they can't stop you, no matter how hard they try, by the end of this. So don't worry. Let's begin. First of all, selected ones reveal what is already broken rather than destroying communities. They like pretending that everything was okay before you arrived. However, what is the reality? There were already fissures. You just made it difficult for them to continue acting like that. You didn't damage anything. Everyone knew about the covert phony friendships, silent grudges, and unsaid betrayals that existed before you. But no one spoke out because it was simpler to maintain the illusion. The illusion was abruptly destroyed as you entered the picture. Since your sheer presence compelled people to choose between truth and falsehoods, comfort and progress, and genuine and phony, they attempted to expose everyone except you. They turn against you for this reason, not because of anything you did wrong. You see, you revealed what they want to conceal. They weren't prepared to deal with the consequences. So your presence broke the unwritten agreements they had made with one another, the ones that stated, "Let's just keep pretending." Therefore, they criticized you for revealing the weaknesses rather than mending them. It explains why seemingly solid partnerships abruptly break down. Former allies have turned into adversaries, blaming people they knew, but were afraid to challenge. It was their own repressed problems that ultimately surfaced, not you, that made them turn on one another. You were just the impetus. The trouble is that despite their insistence that you are the issue, they are aware of the reality. They are aware that there was always treachery, division, and chaos. It was only waiting for someone or something to set it off. Since acknowledging the truth would imply acknowledging that their basis was shaky long before you came, they will tell lies to the contrary. What they truly mean when they claim that everything was great until you arrived is that they were content to live in denial, and you destroyed that. Second, until you surpass them, envy will masquerade as loyalty. When you're having trouble, others will support you because, to them, you're still inferior. During difficult moments, they will cheer, give words of support, and even pose as your staunchest allies. But as soon as you begin to rise, really rise, something changes. The same people who previously applauded are now questioning you, gossiping, and seeking excuses to be against you. That's no accident. Jealousy never makes an announcement. It appears as worry, criticism, or even phony humility, rather than as, "I hate that you're winning." They'll pretend you've changed, but what they really despise is that you've grown out of the version of yourself they were used to. They may be your confidant, your knowledgeable guru, or your encouraging buddy when you are having difficulties. You no longer need them as much, however, and that hurts more than they'll ever acknowledge. What's worse is that they may not even be aware of their jealousy. They'll tell themselves that they have good reason to be resentful. You got lucky. You forgot where you came from. You think you're better than us now. All of these statements are only a front for the true problem, which is that they can't take watching you thrive while they stay the same. The worst part is that they never really showed you loyalty. They remained faithful to their role in your life. They enjoyed being in charge, offering you advice, and feeling significant because you were in need of them. Their allegiance vanished the instant your achievement jeopardized their status. They'll claim that you're the issue, that you changed, and that you became conceited about your accomplishment. However, the fact is that they never had an issue with you. Rather, they had an issue with your development, as it made them realize all the things they might be, but chose not to be. Third, the individuals who grin in your face are the true test, not your adversaries. You can easily identify your adversaries since they don't pretend to be on your side or conceal their true motivations. But what's the actual risk? It comes from the people who call you family, who grin in your face, and who pretend to always have your back until it costs them anything. When things are going well, they are right there with you, smiling, encouraging, and behaving as if nothing could ever sever your relationship. However, they reveal their true selves as soon as things go ugly, when there is pressure, controversy, or a chance to benefit at your cost. At first, they won't stab you in the back directly. Rather, they will withdraw, become quiet, and pretend they are blind to what is going on. When the stakes are high, they won't stand by you, protect you, or speak out. And that quiet? You have an option. It is a betrayal in silence. Even while they may not be the ones telling falsehoods, they allow others to do so. Although they may not be the first to do so, they do not prevent others from doing so. You'll also come to the harsh realization that they were never really for you. They supported your concept and what you offered them. They remained as long as it was easy for them to be around you. However, loyalty is put to the test when sticking by you comes at a price, not when things are simple. The unpleasant reality is that some individuals will only stick with you if it suits them. They leave as soon as it becomes uncomfortable to be in your corner or when you're in danger. Additionally, don't spend time becoming upset about this when you see it. If someone can't support you during a storm, they don't deserve to support you on a sunny day. Take it as a lesson. Fourth, you were the ideal fit for the villain they required. Individuals dislike accepting responsibility for their own issues. They need someone to take the fall, someone to blame, someone to attack, someone to become the enemy, so they don't have to look in the mirror when a community is already fragmented, when tension, division, and unspoken hatred are boiling under the surface. Additionally, you become the ideal pick if you're unique, talented, or just don't want to follow the crowd. It has never been about you specifically. You are just the most convenient target. Just being around you makes people uncomfortable and compels them to see things they don't want to. They thus blame everything on you rather than facing their own shortcomings. All of a sudden, you are the cause of the conflict. Problems are being caused by you. In their tale, you are the antagonist. They will distort the story any way they see fit. They will claim that you believe you are superior to everyone else if you are successful. They'll behave as if you deserve it if you're having trouble. They will accuse you of being hostile if you attempt self-defense. They'll say you have something to conceal if you don't say anything. Accepting the reality that their own dysfunction caused this disaster is too painful for them. Therefore, no matter what you do, they will find a way to blame you. The irony of it all? Not because you changed, but because your presence made them realize how little they had. The same individuals who previously respected you will be the first to turn against you. You just made it difficult for them to continue acting as they did, not that you broke them. And instead of confronting it, they band together to hate you. It provides them with a sense of direction and a shared foe to fight. What people fail to see, however, is that villains are just misinterpreted heroes. Who is narrating the narrative is the sole distinction, and the amusing aspect of tales. When the truth is eventually revealed, they change. Fifth, the people you trust the most are the ones that betray you, never strangers. A stranger may attempt to undermine you, despise you, or even tell lies about you. However, that isn't treachery. When someone you trusted and let into your life betrays you, it's called betrayal. And the people you least anticipate are invariably the ones who do it. They may cause more harm the closer they are. Nobody knows your secrets, your background, your anxieties, or your vulnerabilities, but your loved ones. They've seen your worst moments. They are aware of your priorities, your nightly anxieties, and the things you would never want used against you. And they take advantage of everything when the time comes. Their motivations are different. Some people can't tolerate your progress and do it out of jealousy. Throwing you under the bus to protect themselves is what some people do for survival. And others, they just do it because they are able to. They feel entitled because of your closeness. They believe they ought to have access to your accomplishments, talents, and intellect. They get resentful when they discover they don't. Before you know it, the same someone who previously seemed to be on your side is planning your demise. What's the worst? They will not always launch a frontal assault. Betrayal is subtle. The buddy who begins behaving strangely, but refuses to explain why. When others turn against you, it's the family member who abruptly ceases being your support system. It's the one who remains quiet while your reputation is tarnished, not because they are ignorant of the truth, but rather because they stand to gain from the falsehood. It will hurt at first. You'll wonder how someone you trusted could have done this, and you'll doubt everything. Once the grief subsides, however, you will see that betrayal is not about you, but rather reflects their weakness, their jealousy, or their incapacity to cope with your presence. Therefore, don't spend time getting even. Give them up. Give them no access. Let them bear the consequences of their actions because, in the end, treachery always has a price. And losing someone they will never be able to access again is that price. Sixth, their animosity is evidence that you're doing something well. Individuals don't expend energy on non-threatening people. You are not shaking anything if no one is attempting to bring you down or talking about you. You've upset something they wanted to maintain, which is why they're upset, chatting, and planning. And they despise you for just that reason. Hatred is a response, not a random emotion. When you refuse to remain in the box they constructed for you, it is set off. They'll put up with you as long as you're having trouble, acting weak or being mute. But as soon as you get up and begin to have an influence, you're too much, too brash, too self-assured, too different. Their true intentions are too strong to manage. Of course, they won't acknowledge this. Instead, they will pass off their animosity as criticism or worry. They will claim that you are conceited, that you have changed, and that you are undeserving of your possessions. Some may even pretend to be the victim, fabricating tales, disseminating false information, and making you seem to be the issue. However, take note, they never target normal people. Those who blend in are not the targets of their rallies. They exclusively target those who are conspicuous. They don't feel intimidated because of you. Making oneself smaller to accommodate them is not your duty. It's their weakness, not yours, if your presence makes them uneasy. They attempt to persuade people that you don't deserve it because they can't stand to see you succeed. But they know deep down that you deserve your spot, and they despise you for just that reason. Let them speak then. Let them plot. They're confirming that you're doing something right the more they fight you, so let them hurl everything at you. And how should I react? Continue to win. Nothing breaks a hater's spirit more than knowing that no matter what they do, they can't stop you. So keep proving them wrong, not with words but with outcomes. The seventh is that the loudest confession is silence. See who doesn't say anything. Loyalty is shown when things become nasty, not when it's pleasant. And listen carefully to those who remain quiet while others turn against you. They aren't preventing the falsehoods, but they may not be the ones telling them. And that quiet? It is more powerful than any insult. These are the individuals who once referred to you as a friend, relative, or even ally. When it was safe and they had nothing to lose, they had no trouble being around you. However, they stop talking and retreat the moment they feel pressured, or that standing up for you may cost them anything, like opportunity, social acceptance, or their personal feeling of security. It's not that they don't know the truth. Rather, it's that they lack the confidence to stand with you. The true betrayal is that what they choose not to say is just as important as what they say. It's the knowledge that they had the option to stop the rumors, but choose not to. It's when they decided that their comfort was more important than the truth, after hearing others mispronounce your name. They made a choice. They weren't taken by surprise. They put their own survival ahead of morality. Let's face it, if you were in their shoes, you wouldn't hesitate. Some people may defend it to themselves by saying things like, "I didn't want to get involved. It's not my place," or "I didn't know what to say." Because you are who you are, you would unquestionably protect them. You can tell that the devotion was never reciprocated because of this. Keep them quiet. Silence is ultimately simply another kind of choosing sides. So let them show themselves. Don't spend your breath arguing with the person who didn't stand up for you when it counted. Simply keep in mind, you'll already know where they stand when the dust settles and they return like nothing happened. Eighthly, you are just the strongest. You are not the first person they have attempted to destroy. They have previously engaged in this behavior. They have turned upon, gossiped about, and attempted to destroy others before, including you. The only distinction? The final individual failed to pass. The pressure caused them to fold. The weight of the betrayal, the lies, and the loneliness caused them to shatter. And these folks also expected you to do just that. They have previously used similar strategies, such as manipulation, hearsay, whispering, and inciting the masses against a particular target. They like this game the most since it typically works. Under such strain, most individuals crack. Their confidence wanes. They back off. They begin to doubt themselves, wondering whether or not their adversaries have a point. And the war is already lost once that occurs. Then there is you, however. You didn't shatter despite the same blows, betrayals, and efforts to destroy you. And it is what enrages them. They despise you for what you endured, not just for who you are. Like the others, you were expected to collapse. In the process, you were expected to give up, vanish, or, at the very least, lose yourself. Rather, you maintained your position. They are now unsure on how to handle you. Recognize that their issue with you is strategic rather than personal. This strength wasn't intended for you. It wasn't meant for you to survive their efforts to ruin you. And since you did, you are now a danger, rather than simply another target. A reminder that their strategies aren't as effective as they first believed. A representation of their worst fear, an uncontrollable person. Let them try again. Allow them to expend their energy, because the more they struggle, the more they demonstrate that they have never encountered someone like you. The ninth is that your success seems to be a slight to their lackluster performance. People are exposed, not simply inspired, by success. You don't only shine when you start winning. You throw a shadow over others who don't want to change. And that's when the animosity starts. The majority of individuals are unwilling to put in the effort necessary to level up. Although they speak about wanting more, they are unable to act on it. They provide justifications. They remain in their comfort zones, telling themselves that success is reserved for the fortunate, that it is impossible to succeed, and that the system is rigged. However, you later show them to be mistaken. You were not expected to arrive. It was not intended for you to ascend above your surroundings. When you did, you broke their illusions because they had no justification if you, someone from the same location who had experienced the same hardships, could achieve it. It hurts to realize that. They feel humiliated rather than motivated. Your achievement compels them to face the unpleasant reality that they had the same 24 hours, the same chances to work harder, take chances, and grow, but they chose not to, and they resort to hate rather than that as inspiration. It's simpler for them to drag you down than to bring themselves up. They can remain precisely where they are guilt-free if they can persuade themselves that you cheated, got fortunate, or changed for the worse. Because it boosts their ego, they will remark things like, "You're different now. Success got to your head, and you forgot where you came from." The thing they don't realize, however, is that bringing you down won't make them better. They will ultimately remain in the same position, no matter how much they undermine, talk, and disparage others. How about you? You'll continue to rise, demonstrating that they always had the option to be mediocre. The 10th is that they despise the fact that they are unable to be you, not you. Most of the time, hate is directed at what you stand for rather than you. They dislike the fact that you possess qualities that they lack, such as self-assurance, self-control, talent, and resilience, rather than you as a person. They desire it, and they see it. But their pride prevents them from lowering themselves to learn. They assault as the next best course of action. If you pay serious attention, you will see the inconsistency. Despite their claims to hate you, they follow your every step. They replicate your words, your manner, and your enthusiasm while criticizing everything you do. Despite their pretense of indifference, they are very knowledgeable about you. That is a combination of obsession and jealousy, rather than outright hate. They research you to uncover weaknesses and defects that they may take advantage of, not to help you. However, they would never acknowledge the fact that they secretly wish they were you. It consumes them on the inside because it makes them realize how weak they are. They witness your power, your capacity to rise above the bullshit, and your unwillingness to crumble under duress. They choose the easy way, tearing you down to avoid having to confront their own faults, rather than using it as incentive to better themselves. Because of this, they will always find a reason to be against you, regardless of what you do. They'll make fun of you if you have trouble. They'll claim you're fortunate if you succeed. They'll label you phony if you maintain your humility. They will accuse you of being conceited if you embrace confidence. Their reluctance to acknowledge that someone like you exists outside of their control is the problem, not you. Let them be hateful. Let them observe. Allow them to speak as every slight, smear campaign, and effort to discredit you serves as further evidence that you are everything they wish they had the guts to be. 11th, there's a reason why the cosmos keeps you apart. Those who choose to sink cannot be saved. Not everyone is supposed to accompany you. Although it is one of the most difficult lessons to embrace, it is also one of the most crucial. There is nothing you can do if someone refuses to rise, no matter how much you love them, support them, and wish them well. Some individuals are sinking because they have chosen to remain in the same cycles, the same poisonous behaviors, and the same justifications. They are not drowning because life was unjust to them. Additionally, their weight will drag you under if you're not cautious. The cosmos is generating distance for a purpose. There are certain talks, beliefs, and surroundings that you have outgrown. You are now exhausted with the things that used to amuse you. You no longer feel like you know the folks you used to connect to. That's growing, not being conceited or changing negatively. And as you mature, you'll always be able to tell who was there for a season and who was really intended to be in your life. Some individuals choose pity over answers. They want to connect over generational curses, not break them. When people see you climbing, they are angry that you accomplished it rather than curious about how you did it. Because what's their justification if you, someone who came from the same position as them, were able to rise? Many folks aren't prepared for that degree of introspection. Because it provides them a sense of identity, they cling to their challenges rather than evolving. You will also wear yourself out if you keep attempting to pull them along with you. Persuading others to want more for themselves is not your responsibility. It's not your job to make them feel better by making them smaller. The world keeps you apart for a purpose, to keep you safe, to keep you up, to keep you from being stranded in a place you weren't supposed to be. Thus, release them. Since they would have chosen to climb if they were intended to rise with you, let them remain precisely where they have decided to be. However, I need you to take action. Immediately subscribe to the channel. Don't only observe from a distance. Join this movement. If this resonated with you and validated what you already knew deep inside, hit the like button. Tell me what struck you the most in the comments section below. Let's discuss it. Together, we can make this energy a reality. Additionally, remember to share this with someone who needs to hear it. Someone who has been questioning themselves. Someone who is going through a difficult time. Or someone who is about to rise but isn't even aware of it yet. Because this is change, not simply content. You won't want to miss what comes next, I promise.